It is 5:34 on January 19th. It is a Finance Committee meeting, and this meeting is being recorded. We will be doing roll call voting for all votes as well as attendance. So I am Linda Bathel. Art, you're here. Bob,
Yep.
Sheila, Terry.
Carrie or Carrie?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mish.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Carrie,
I'm here.
Karen,
Here.
John. Okay. All right. Sheila was a question mark whether she'd get reception or not. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for coming to this meeting tonight. First thing is any public comments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the minutes of December 7th.
Was that in the last packet?
It should have, yes, it should have been.
It was scanned to you on yesterday.
Oh, that was the other scan. Okay. Let me go download that real quick.
Okay.
I don't see it either in my stuff that I printed out.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Where the heck's my printer? There we go. Okay, how do we go back? Shouldn't have to go back to the meeting. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm back.
Hello. Okay, so we'll give you guys a couple of minutes to look those over. In the meantime, does anybody else have any changes to the minutes?
Linda, I'm good with the minutes.
You good? Okay. All right. So I'll double check again. Are there any changes that should be made to the minutes? Okay, can I get a motion to approve them as written?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, for approving the minutes as written, Linda, yes. Art,
Yes. Or yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Mr. Mish,
Yes,
Karen,
Yes.
and Carrie.
Yes.
All right. Accepted 600. Okay. On for our new business. We have a lot of new business. First is the Westcom dispatch discussion where we had the meeting last week with the select board. We do have our liaisons meeting this upcoming Tuesday, the 26th. And we should all be submitting any questions that we may have regarding this. And more than likely, there will be a follow-up meeting probably in a couple of weeks. Date has not been set, but after the liaisons are able to meet and get additional information and the chiefs are able to answer more of our questions, it's a good idea for all of us and the select board to have a joint meeting again. So what is your pleasure on this? Do you guys want to discuss any concerns or questions that you may have at this time, or do you want to continue to submit them into the select board, the chiefs, and all of finance, and wait to review them at that time?
personally, this is Terry. It looks like the questions are getting answered by the chiefs as they're sent in. I'm not sure if, I can't remember if the ones for Karen was sent to the chiefs and got answered. I don't remember if that, but looks like there has been a lot of questions, a lot of stuff answered. I'm kind of waiting to, to see, what their answers are to prompt more questions if it comes down to that, and then just meet them at the meeting.
That makes perfect sense, Terry.
Oh my God, it's the first time.
I just hope you're sitting down, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Art or Bob, do you want to add anything in there regarding your upcoming meeting?
I had some conversations with both the chief and the deputy chief of police, and I'd gone over some of the questions, some of them that have been submitted, dovetailed in those. But I think, along with their recommendations and Art's relative to meeting and having a work session, that should probably clear anything up and may stir up some additional questions. So I'm really waiting until after Tuesday to really get back to the committee relative to where they are. I have a tendency to lean towards what the department heads feel that they need to run their department.
Absolutely.
And I would concur with what Bob just said. We did get a lot of answers back from the chiefs today via email, which I assume most of you have received copies of.
Mhm.
But some of those questions weren't able to be answered yet at this point, and I assume they will be shortly. Our meeting scheduled for a week from now. So hopefully by then their answers are more complete. And again, if we have additional questions, we can just communicate through Linda, and the liaisons can carry any further questions to that meeting. And again, whatever follows up after that.
Okay, so I would encourage everyone to keep reading the questions that are submitted, the answers that are replied back to us. Like Terry said, it could generate additional questions that our liaisons can address at their meeting next week. And then, well, at our next meeting, they can update us on everything and we'll move forward at that point. Okay? All right. Well, that went faster than I thought. Okay. Moving on to our budget hearing dates. Right now, I'm getting a consensus from people that right at this time, it seems that everybody can make the meeting dates in March. Does that sound right to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So is there a preference? Do you want to go the first and third Saturday in March or the second and fourth, or does it matter?
I'd like sooner the better.
Okay. I concur with you, Art, where that way if there was a bump in the road, we still have a little extra time to get everything worked out. I will tell you, if I find my notes, that basically what happened is the budgets need to be turned in this Friday by everyone. It goes to Melissa and Laura, and hopefully they don't have a whole lot of work that they have to do after that, so it can get on to Robin. And my hope is that either the week of the 5th or the week of the 12th of February, and I know that may be wishful thinking, but it'd be nice if we could all get our books picked up one of those 2 weeks. And if people need help getting the books picked up, let me know and we'll get something worked out so that we can get your books to you. Okay. And Terry, I appreciate that you had offered to assist with that also.
And another note here to Robin, if you need help stuffing those books, getting them in the, in where they're supposed to go, I'd be more than happy. I'd have to bring it here, but I'd be more than happy to
All right.
help.
Thank
with
you.
those.
And one of the things that accounting will need to do is we'll need to fill in everybody's year-to-date expense onto their budget. So that just takes us a little bit of time once we get the budgets back from everybody.
Hopefully we've all encouraged our departments to get that stuff turned in on time. And I expressed to a couple departments if they needed assistance, I'd be very happy in helping them to complete their budget so that it does get in on a timely manner. To me, it's a matter of respect for the other people at Town Hall who have to still put work in. I said this to a couple of people from Town Hall that this time of year comes around right about the same time all the time. There's no reason for people really not to be ready unless there's some, big projects going on, like I'm sure Westcom decision may impact how they handle the budget. Actually, it shouldn't for this year, but for the following year. But it still might impact this year's budget. So I understand that, but we all need to do our due diligence and hopefully our departments are all turning everything in on time.
And we have
Right.
received a few budgets already, so.
Great.
Can I add something?
Absolutely, Terry.
Okay. I did make the calls. Most of the ones were, almost done with them, blah, blah, blah. The one that came up was the Board of Health, who kind of, Tammy kind of, not that she forgot about it, but she had, they had it, they're going to review it again with the board. Because I made a suggestion that because of COVID and the uncertainty and the fact that they currently are getting reimbursed for some things, that maybe they should be looking at making some assumptions that they're not going to get reimbursed for some things and put that in. As I said, I'd rather see it in a budget instead of, doing a transfer later on for something. And apparently the board or their committee had already had added some things, but I'm not going to say afraid to put it in, but I said, if it's something that you need, definitely this is the time to put it in, because I thought, we would be a lot more open to, adding some money in if they thought they weren't going to get reimbursed for things.
I think that was good advice to them. Okay,
That's two today.
Terry, you're on a roll.
Don't push it.
Okay. Moving on to the finance department budget. We have the budgets from the previous 3 years. And I would take any suggestions from people that they have regarding the budget, our budget.
I would just leave it the same personally. No addition.
My thought was to keep it a level budget also. I don't think we need to add anything in there, and we have a little extra money, but that varies from year to year. We don't know. So I think if we go level funded, we should be okay. What does everyone else think?
Sounds good to me.
Seems
level
reasonable.
funded.
Okay.
Laura, how are we doing relative to what we budgeted versus what we've spent? Are we usually, this year is an anomaly, but
You're usually, close in what if it's a year where you're doing the conference, you come close, you haven't gone over anything. So level funded is fine.
okay, that's great. Yep, a level funded sounds good.
Okay. Any further discussion on that?
What about your 5% decrease? If there were,
I think that we could, in most instances, gosh, I can't talk, sorry. I think in most instances, we would be okay to do a 5% reduction. Being level funded, I think it just covers all of our bases. But if there's something I'm missing, feel free to point it out.
If we need a line for less, 5% less, I would just take it out of the convention fee.
okay.
Okay, so Laura, I don't have my calculator. Can you do a 5% off of well, first of all, is everybody amendable to doing that?
Yep,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So what we're gonna submit is salaries would stay the same, but operations decrease by 5% on the conference and travel line.
Yep, and that's $239 is what it would be reduced by.
Okay,
$4,154.
okay. All right, so Do I have a motion to accept the Finance Committee FY22 budget as amended, 5% less on the conference and travel, and everything else to stay as it was for the FY21 budget?
I'll make
So
that
moved.
motion.
Okay,
Second.
all right. All right, we'll do the roll call vote. Linda, yes. Bob,
Yes.
Art,
Yes,
Mr. Mish,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
and Karen.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. 600 for that portion. Thank you, everybody, for that. And now we're moving on to the paragraph in the annual report. And I will say, when I read it, it seemed a little lengthy. But I think we could condense it a little bit, but I would like to hear what everybody else would like to do. Do you want to go paragraph by paragraph in there and make adjustments that way? Or has anybody rewritten the thing completely? Okay,
Well,
let's go
if-
paragraph by paragraph then.
Yep.
First paragraph. I think that the first sentence is fine. My question was, in that first sentence, should we add the word annual prior to meeting so that it singles out the annual town meeting? I know we still have the special town meetings too, so I wasn't sure about that, adding the word annual to there as I said.
Sounds like a good idea.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Okay, all right, so we'll add the word annual. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I like that whole first, looks like more than a paragraph, but it just explains what we actually do as opposed to, what, what's going on, other than that. It just says what we do.
Okay, is everybody in agreement to leave the first paragraph as is? And we'll add in the word annual before town meeting?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. So we'll do that. On the other column, that next paragraph. Any adjustments to that? I know it seems redundant, but we're still in that, everything there still applies to us.
Right.
Okay. All right, so shall we leave that second paragraph the same also?
Yeah. It's basically just thanking the department, for their input.
Yes. Okay, how about the following paragraph, the third one?
Yeah, I don't know if this is the place or somewhere else in here, but I kind of thought maybe something along the lines, and I'll just read this kind of quickly, is the last part of the fiscal year 2020, as well as the start of the fiscal year 2021 budgets have been particularly affected by the COVID virus. The committee has only met remotely, which makes communication more difficult. And that could be that, or it could be something else, but I wanted to get that in there along, with the challenges that are like the buildings and the roads and stuff like that in there also.
I'm with you. That was a paragraph that I thought we needed to mention something about the pandemic, to have note in there, and note that things have been a bit more challenging, but that we're all working through them. Okay.
But yeah,
Okay, so Terry, where were you looking at adding what you wrote in that paragraph?
it could go in there anyway. I don't even know if we have major financial issues, or it says the major concerns looming are roads, buildings, that's blah, blah, blah. But maybe we can just pull that out for the time being, and just insert that.
All right, so say the major concerns looming are the pandemic related? Or?
Well, no, I don't even know where to throw it in. Somewhere we just need to mention that. And in additional to that, that's the other thing that I was hoping to have would be the results of the 2020 and where we sit currently on the 2021, just to get some kind of sense on what else I could say, or we could say in there. How did we make out on 2021 with half the year being in, COVID protocol thing? Are we well under the budget because things got shut down, or are we way over the budget because things got shut down? And where do we sit once we got cautious and for 2021? We were able to do that, but I have no idea how that sits right now. So I was kind of hoping to have that information before I really wrote anything else.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see how we can have all of that information yet when we're only just over halfway through the fiscal year.
But it,
Yeah, well, I would, 2020 though is how did we end up? And 2021 is, they could,
Oh,
we normally
sorry.
get this
Yeah.
up in November or something, the end of November. Where did we sit then? I just have no sense of where we are currently
right.
and how we made up last year.
Yeah, I can get to that information to you, Terry. I know you had asked for it before this meeting, but I was working on our free cash and our Schedule A. But I can tell you that we did go into we were under our budget because we put in protocols, and we were selective in what we were spending our money on, and we knew that we had to put things in order so that we don't go over budget, and in case revenues came in lower. So we do,
Yeah, no, I'm not, saying anything negative about, what you guys are doing or your priorities or anything, because you guys have to set your own priorities. But
yeah,
I just didn't know how easy that would be to, to pull up So
Okay.
I had it. And if you do end up with that,
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
again, maybe not just for myself, but I would prefer that printed out and I can pick that up at town hall, at some point in time.
Yep.
Robin, can you refresh my memory on when we need to have this to you?
Well, I'm actually composing and putting together the annual town report this year. So I don't know, just probably sometime at least by the middle of February, end of February.
Okay. How about if people are amendable to this, we postpone this, this section until our next gathering and we have it all finalized then for Robin? Does that
Good.
agreeable?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
And-
so
and as soon as you get that, maybe then, maybe we can maybe you can get that in the mail or something. Get the results of these budgets, where we stand semi now, not,
okay. All right, so unless anybody has any objections to it, we will do the annual town report paragraph at our next meeting. We'll have everything we're looking for and finalize it at that point.
good.
Okay,
Linda, can you make sure that we get copies of that, or in our packets?
yes, yes,
Cool. Thanks.
we will do that, sure. Okay. And discussion about a possible date change. I think there's going to be a few more things coming up that we will need to meet with the select board on. And I just wanted to, throw it out there. Should we keep our meetings on Mondays and then do like we did this last time and just change our meeting date if we're scheduled at the same time that we need to meet with the select board? Or would you like to just temporarily change the day of the week that we meet? So I'll open that up for discussion.
Robin, are you still covering both the select board meetings and our meeting as well?
Yes.
So that, I think, is going to be a driver, even though it's convenient for us to meet the same night as a select board. Yeah, I think it's putting a lot of pressure on our secretary because she's trying to cover both meetings. So if it makes sense to change, then I'm certainly in agreement with it.
Or the select board could go to twice a month.
What? I missed that.
Mr. Chairman,
That's a great idea.
I thought you'd like it.
Oh,
Okay, so I will put it out there. Should we change our day of meeting to Tuesdays? Or does that not work for other people?
Doesn't matter to me, Linda.
Okay,
I'm retired. I'm retired. Monday is Tuesday, is Wednesday, is Thursday, is Friday, is Saturday, is Sunday.
Every day is Saturday.
all right, so if it's amendable to everybody, we will start meeting on Tuesdays and not on Mondays until further notice. Okay.
Does that
Is
mean the
that-
selectmen should now move their meetings to Tuesday like we're playing chess?
We
Well, are
will
you
do-
considering, Mr. Chairman, moving your meetings to Tuesday?
Every day Saturday, I think I heard somebody say. No, I don't think so. Not at this time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, we don't need to take a vote on that, do we? We shouldn't, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so, but I think we do need to have it, maybe in the in the town website, maybe, that we meet on Tuesdays until further notice or something?
I can do that, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we did that, and I kind of already covered the town department data. My concern was just getting everything into the accounting department as the timeline was put out to people, but I think we already covered that unless anybody has anything else to add.
So maybe a quick question, whose budget has been submitted so far?
I think Council on Aging, the police, dispatch, animal control. I know off the top of my head. There are a couple of others.
Okay,
Very good. Okay. All right, and we'll check in with you, Laura, too, to see how that list is growing for you.
Okay. I expect it to grow, by the end of the week.
Absolutely. Okay, anything else under new business? Okay,
I guess-
old bit, oh, I'm sorry.
hang on. Maybe back to that real quick. Maybe somebody, you could just give us a quick note, a quick email on who's you've received so far. I don't want to bug the building inspector, but if he hasn't gotten his in, which he said he was almost done with, I want to give him another call, unless you want to go ahead and do that yourself.
Let's wait until like next week and see who all submitted all their stuff on Friday by the close of business.
Okay, sounds good. So it was written, so it shall be done. Hallelujah.
I'm sorry?
If I answered it again, you would be sorry. Sorry.
Okay, moving on to old business. Art, can you give us an update on the fire station?
There's nothing to report since the last time I reported, so there's no new news that I have for you.
Okay. All right, and we have no reserve fund transfers. Next finance date. I think if we could meet again after the liaisons meet on the 26th with the police and fire chiefs, not particularly that day, but if we could even meet the week after that and really talk about Westcom so that we're all on, we all have the information that we're seeking, that we know to seek at that point, just so that if we do have a future meeting with the select board, then, we're getting our ducks in a row. So is anyone amendable to February 2nd?
As long as the selectmen don't call a meeting for the February 1st for the same thing.
Okay.
They do meet February 1st.
That is our plan.
So why don't we meet on the night of the 26th?
We can do that.
The meeting, it's right after the meeting and it should be fresh in my mind. I won't forget as much.
That
Okay.
is at 10 a.m. That's at 10 a.m. now, not, or something like that, right?
Right,
No.
10 a.m.
Not at 6:30? Okay.
Correct.
Okay,
I gotta
so
stay okay.
is everyone amendable then to meet at 5:30 on a week from tonight, January 26th? Okay, I'm not hearing any nays on that, so that will be our next date, January 26th at 5:30. And we'll get an update on the Westcom. Okay. If there is nothing else to be covered, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion.
Okay. And, okay. All in favor, Linda, aye. Art,
Aye, yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Mr. Mish,
Yes, yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
and Karen.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all. We'll get some additional information out to you and we'll get rolling for next week's meeting. All right, and just final note, Karen and I will be attending the virtual MMA this Thursday and Friday, and who knows, we may have some great news to share from that too.
On a note with that, if you can look at Mr. Moglen's email, letting you know what the schedule is for the different conferences, the times, so people don't overlap each other's, the workshops.
Okay, so meaning we don't all go to the same workshop?
Correct, because we
Right.
get credit from Maya for, attending those, and certain ones obviously have more, weight than others, but just so that they're, not repeated.
Okay, all right.
So he did send you out an email, so Karen and Linda, if you can just check that later.
Saw
We,
that.
okay, we will do that and we'll make adjustments if need be.
Great.
Okay,
Enjoy your virtual dinners. At a little
Yeah, that should be interesting.
virtual.
For the folks that are going, we're gonna have figure something out.
okay.
There you go.
All right, everyone. Thank you once again. It is 6:17 and this meeting is adjourned. We'll meet you guys all next